What's going on, everybody? American Football Network here with another video today. And today we are bringing you our Kansas Jayhawks preview prediction video. But before we get started, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Help me reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. And check out our newly launched shop. We have close to, if not over 200 different products. And you can check all of those out. You can find the link to that in the description. I'll put a card for it right here. You can also find it on our channel homepage. If you have any design ideas or product ideas, you can email me those. My email is in the description as well as in the about section on the channel homepage. So check out the shop. There'll be some pinned products to this video. So check it out. We're really excited about that. That new feature and option for the channel. But let's go ahead and dive into the Kansas Jayhawks. So last year they went 6-7 overall, 3-6 in the Big 12. A good first or second season for Lance Leopold at Kansas. As the year before, they only won 2 games. They went 2-10 the year before, so not very good. But last year they had a solid season. They won their first 5, and then it kind of fell apart. Jalen Daniels' injury, a solid factor in them doing that. But they beat Tennessee Tech 56-10, at West Virginia in overtime 55-42, at Houston 48-30, Duke 35-27, and Iowa State 14-11 in the first 5 games. Then they won just one of their next 8 games as they lost to TCU, lost at Oklahoma, lost at Baylor, beat Oklahoma State, lost at Texas Tech, lost to Texas, lost at Kansas State, and lost to Arkansas in overtime in the bowl game, which was probably the best bowl game, I would say, other than the Michigan final game. That one, excuse me, Ohio State, Georgia. I think Arkansas, Kansas was better than the TCU Michigan one, but just barely. You can argue that one was better because of the significance championship, but to me, Ohio State Georgia was the best bowl game. I mean, I get it, bowl game, and then Arkansas Kansas was next game. Arkansas won 55-53 in overtime, but boys, still, a good season for the Kansas Hawks, and this year I expect them to have a season. I think they'll have a winning record this year. They returned Jalen Daniels, who is a top 10 quarterback in the country. They returned 7 starters on defense, 10 starters on offense. They do lose the left tackle, though. That's not ideal, but it's not a big issue either. You look at the numbers for Kansas last year. Offensively, number 2 in the Big 12 in scoring offense, number 5 in rushing offense, 5 in passing offense, and 4th in total offense. Defensively, those where they gotta straighten it up. They were 10th defensively in scoring defense, 10th defensively in rushing defense, 8th in pass defense, and 10th in total defense. So if they return 7 starters defensively. If they could shape that up, they have one of the best safeties in the country, in my opinion, in Kenny Logan, the very dynamic safety. Then I can see Kansas having a great year if they can get the defensive side of the ball figured out under Brian Borland, the defensive coordinator. But let's go ahead and dive into Kansas' schedule. So week 1, they start out Missouri State. That's a win. Missouri State is no match for Kansas whatsoever. Don't think we really need a whole lot of discussion there, but a nice, easy step into the 2023 season. Then they get Illinois at home. This is going to be a difficult game, but I do think Kansas wins this game. This is going to be a game. I wouldn't be surprised if Illinois wins, but I think Kansas is the better team. It's a home game for them. I think in week 2, Illinois has a lot more stuff to figure out than Kansas does. I think Kansas gets the win. Then week 3, they go on the road to Nevada. I have this game as a win. Nevada, probably the worst team in the Mountain West. I don't think they're going to be any match for Kansas. They just don't have the talent to compete with them whatsoever. Then Kansas gets BYU at home. I have this game as a win. BYU is BYU's a solid team, but I just don't think that they have the skill players to really compete with a Kansas team that has all this offensive explosiveness. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, and I think Kansas will win a shootout, probably in the 40s, maybe even low 50s. I imagine both teams to be somewhere in the upper 30s and 40s. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think Kansas will win by 10 plus in the end. Then they go on the road to Texas. I have this game as a loss. Texas beat them last year 55-14. This was while Jason Bean was the quarterback. So, take that with a grain of salt because he's obviously not their best quarterback. Jalen Daniels is, and he's a top 10 quarterback in the country. He's just got to stay healthy, and they're going to have a great year with him at quarterback if he can. I expect this Kansas team to do great. I expect Jalen Daniels. I mean, honestly, he's a bit of a dark horse Heisman contender. I think he's far off. I think he's a far stretch. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that this dude finishes top 5 for the Heisman. It's just not. Then they go to UCF at home. I have this game as a win. UCF, the new guy on the block in the Big 12, one of them, they're not going to compete with Kansas, I don't think, for 4 quarters. I think this will be a game for about 3, and I think Kansas will pull away in the 4th and end up winning by about 10 to 17 points. I think there'll be a lot of offense in this game. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game, and it should be a very entertaining game to watch. Then they go on the road to Oklahoma State. I have this game as a loss. I think Oklahoma State is just a team that is going to find a way to beat Kansas this year. They lost 37-16 last year. But I think they beat Kansas this year, and continue that streak of a winning season that Gundy's had for, at least since I think like 2008, maybe even longer than that. I'm not sure, but that's just incredible. Over 10 years of winning seasons at Oklahoma State, and I expect this year to be another one of those. Although I think it will be very tough, but I do think Oklahoma State will win that game. Then Kansas has a bye week. Then they get Oklahoma at home. This is a game I really struggled back and forth with. Kansas has been close to beating Oklahoma in the last 2 years. They lost by 10 this year. They almost upset them big time in 2021. Caleb Williams saved Oklahoma. I really struggle with this one, but I am giving Kansas the loss. I think that I think Oklahoma is a little bit of a better football team. I think that, they're going to be better coached defensively. I think that's going to be the key here is Oklahoma defensively is going to be better coached and able to get some stops. I still think there's going to be a lot of offense scored in this game, but I think that Kansas defense is really going to struggle to stop Dylan Gabriel and the Sooners offense. They gave up 52 to them last year. And I think they'll do the same again this year, 40-something points to them. Then they go on the road to Iowa State. I have this game as a loss. I feel like Iowa State, they're not going to be a great team, but I feel like they're going to give Kansas some trouble. They only lost by 3 to Kansas last year, 14-11 on the road. I think at home this year, I think Iowa State is able to find a way to get the job done and get the win over the Kansas Jayhawks. Then they get home. I have this game as a win. I think the Red Raiders are going to be much improved this year. I think they're going to have a good season, but I still don't think that they have the skill players or the defense to beat a team like Kansas. I don't think they can consistently get enough stops. I think they will be very good offensively, but I'm just not sure they have the skill position players to score and keep up with Kansas. I think this game will be a higher scoring game as well, much like a lot of these Big 12 games are, and I think it'll be fun to watch, but I don't think that Texas Tech is able to pull it off. Then Kansas gets Kansas State at home. I have this game as a loss. I think Kansas State may very well be the best team in the Big 12. They're definitely up there as a top 3 team with Texas and Oklahoma. I could easily see them repeat as Big 12 champs. So that'll be something fun to watch. I think Kansas State is just a better team. They're more talented. They're more experienced. Will Howard returning at quarterback again for him is huge. He's great, very smart with the football. His pre-snap is incredible. So I think that Kansas State is the better team and will get the win. Loss for Kansas. Then they close out the season on the road at Cincinnati. I have that as a win. I think Cincinnati is a game, but I don't think that they return enough to really beat the Big 12 consistently and to win. To win these big games against these good teams like Kansas. I think that they're going to struggle in those games. So I have Kansas with the win. So that wraps up Kansas' schedule. I have them going 7-5 overall, 5 in the conference. So another good season for Lance Leopold and another bowl game for the Kansas Jayhawks. Their second in a row. And that wraps up today's video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Check out the shop. All of you guys watching, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you guys next time.